Hey everyone, You Eat the Burger here. Bungie just dropped a Strand trailer not too long ago, as well as a blog post from the dev team explaining what was shown in the trailer. It was really a cool trailer and it showed a bit more about Strand than what we already know, so let's break it down. Kevin Yanes and Eric Smith, who were the ones mostly talking about Strand, gave us new vocabulary for Strand. Creating an object using Strand is weaving. Defeating an enemy affected by Strand will unravel them, and creates a tangle. You can shoot these tangled bundles and they will explode, causing AoE damage to nearby enemies. Us as players can actually pick up tangles and throw them for unique effects, similar to Warmind cells. There will also be a buff keyterm coming with Strand called Woven Mail, basically wearing a protective mesh of Strand matter, reducing incoming damage. There are 3 debuff keyterms: Suspend, Unravel, and Sever. First, Suspend. A suspended PvE enemy is lifted off the ground for a brief duration and is essentially disabled. Next is Unravel. Attacking an unraveled enemy will cause threads to burst out of the target and attack other nearby enemies. Once hit, the target will also become unraveled. Lastly, Sever. A severed enemy is less capable of affecting the material world, reducing their damage output as a result. Of course, grapple was always a big thing we kept seeing in this trailer. While it didn't show this, Guardians will also be able to execute melee strikes during and at the end of grapple, which will deal bonus damage, unravel enemies, and push them back. Moving on to the class, the Warlock Broodweaver will be the Strand Minion Master. They will be creating threadlings, explosive minions woven from Strand matter. These will run forward, jump on enemies, and explode. They will also travel with the Warlock if they could not find any targets, which seems actually pretty cool. The Warlock Melee Arcane Needle, the melee which is a deadly projectile that tracks targets, causing high damage and unraveling them upon impact. They can chain the attack 3 times in a row. The Warlocks have 2 aspects: Weaver's Call and Mindspawn Invocation. Weaver's Call. On Riftcast, weave 3 threadling eggs which hatch into threadlings when they hit a surface. Any perched threadlings are converted to additional eggs. Mindspun Invocation. Another grenade aspect for Warlocks. This aspect improves several of Warlock abilities. The Grapple. When you execute a grapple melee, the Warlock weaves 3 threadlings eggs from the target. Threadling Grenade. You can consume your Threadling Grenade to generate a full complement of perched threadlings. And finally, Shackle Grenade. You can consume your Shackle Grenade to gain a buff, creating a suspending detonation on every kill. And finally, it's Super Needle Storm, launching a barrage of missiles that stick into enemies and the environment, detonating and reweaving themselves into an army of threadlings. Next we're on the Titans. The Titan Berserker got another Fist of Havoc. Definitely original and not new, and reused for the 4th time. Their melee, Frenzy Blade, which has a default set of 3 charges, which dash and lunge towards enemies, decreasing their damage output. The Titan also has 2 aspects: Into the Fray and Dredger's Lash. Into the Fray. Destroying a tangle weaves woven mail onto the Titan and nearby allies. In addition to reducing damage taken, this aspect also increases the Titan's melee energy regeneration while wearing woven mail. Dredger's Lash. When the Titan casts their class ability, the Titan will blast forward a powerful whirlpool, suspending enemies that are caught in the shockwave's path. And the new Fist of Havoc's super name is Blade of Fury, which is green. Anyway, on a better note, finally we have the Hunter, the Thread Runner. The new melee attack, Threaded Spike, hurls a rope dart that bounces between enemies, damaging and severing them before returning to the Hunter. Upon its return, it grants melee energy for each enemy hit. Hunters can catch the rope dart by pressing the melee input button at the right time, which will grant an additional amount of melee energy when caught perfectly. The Hunter's 2 new aspects are called Ensnaring Slam, aka the Strand Slam, and Widow Silk. Ensnaring Slam. While in the air, press the air move input to slam downwards, suspending all nearby enemies, similar to Shatterfall and Trapper's Ambush. Widow Silk. This aspect grants an additional grenade charge. The Hunter's grapple ability creates a persistent grapple tangle when it latches, which fully refunds grenade energy when grappled to. Hunters can use this ability to set up chains of grapple points that their entire team can use, greatly enhancing their ability to quickly move around in combat and or traverse the environment. And finally, the new Hunter super, Silk Strike. When activated, the Hunter uses their grapple to freely move around through the world. They also throw the rope dart to strike enemies with both light and heavy attacks. They'll be able to use the grapple more often during the super. The light attack can be used in air and on ground and can be chained infinitely. Hitting an enemy with the tip of the dart deals bonus damage and defeating them causes them to explode. The heavy attack can be used in air and on ground, as the Hunter swings the rope dart around in a 360 arc. That's all for the classes, but now they talked about 4 different fragments that we'll be receiving. The first one, Thread of Ascent. Activating your grenade ability reloads your equipped weapon and grants increased weapon handling and airborne effectiveness for a short time. Thread of Fury. Damaging targets with a tangle grants melee energy. Thread of Finality. Finishers generate threadlings. And finally, Thread of Warding. Picking up an orb power grants woven mail. That was all from the dev blog post and from the new trailer. A lot to go over and more to discover when Lightfall releases. I'm personally super excited for everything. Well, most things. Although, why does Osiris still have sun bracers on? Pretty weird little detail that I noticed. What do you think about it? Leave your opinions down under, and if you got this far and liked the video, it would be amazing if you could subscribe and leave a like, as it's always appreciated. Enjoy the countdown to Lightfall, bye!